Welcome to Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, back again with another episode, y'all. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about Chris Rock's Netflix special responding to being slapped by Will Smith at the Oscars last year. I know everybody remembers that. I did an episode about that and got pretty good responses to it. So I thought it would only be right for me to do an episode about Chris Rock and how he feels about it and the special that he did. He was paid $40 million to do this one night live show for Netflix. $40 million, y'all. And I'm going to talk about the response that he's getting and what I think about it and what other people in here are saying. So I hope you get something from this. I think you're going to be surprised at what I think and what I say about this. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Check this out, y'all. Chris Rock, over the weekend, he did a Netflix special talking about being slapped by Will Smith and all of that kind of stuff. He was paid $40 million for this one night live show by Netflix, right? $40 million, right? And I think that, hey, hot topic. People want to see the show. I'm pretty sure that, a lot of decisions went into, how to pull it off and the money that was going to be involved and what to say about it, right? Now, looking at the news, y'all, and that's the source that I have. I'm looking at the news and I'm watching the response, and it seems that everybody had a positive response to it, right? As far as they liked it. Now, let me recap a little bit real quick, because I'm sure that most of you have not forgotten what Will Smith did. But let me recap that, and then I'm going to get right back to, this issue and how Chris Rock responded to it. Last year at the Grammys, was it the Oscars? It was the Oscars. I'm sorry. Last year at the Oscars, Chris Rock was on stage. He was doing his thing. He was the host. He was doing his things, and he said a few things about Will Smith's wife that Will took offense to, talking about the condition that she has with her hair and things like that, right? And Will Smith is sitting in the audience, and it seems that he got sick and tired of hearing all of this and that, and got up and he went and slapped him, right, on live TV in front of the world, right? Now, when I did my show, I talked about how that slap was a culmination of all the things that had been building up in him, right, from when he was a child, watching his mother be beaten and all of the things that led up to that. And I can include now probably the dealing with, his wife being in a relationship with another man, him being talked about in ways that were negative and all this whole kind of stuff. And he just, finally just exploded. And he slapped that man. Now, do I agree that he should have slapped him? No. Do I understand why he did it? Yes. Did he owe Chris Rock an apology right then in the moment? Yes. Was he able to do that? No. Because he had to process, like all of us do, he had to process and come to the realization that that was wrong. Even if he thought that that was wrong immediately after, now he had to find that space within himself to say, I'm sorry, and mean it. And it took him some time to do that. And he apologized to the Oscars and the people that were there for ruining their night. And then sometime later, after he'd been traveling the world and getting some help from other people, he apologized on his social media platform to Chris Rock, Chris's mother and his family and everybody. But we saw how Chris Rock was not responding. His brother responded in a way that where it would lead to, he wanted to put hands on Will Smith. And it's understandable. All of that was understandable. But fast forward to Chris Rock. He did this Netflix special. And the little clips that I was able to see, he tore Will Smith and Jada up. Tore them up. saying some things about them, that it was comedy. I get it. People say it's comedy, and if you can't give it, don't, if you can't take it, don't give it. And I think on some level, he found a way to get what was inside of him out when it came to that situation. But what I didn't like, and this is what I want people to understand about this episode that I'm about to do, things that I'm about to say. What I didn't like about the whole thing was how he talked about Jada, how he talked about Will. He made some good points as far as, Will deflecting his anger, or misplaced anger, not deflecting. His anger was misplaced at all the things that were going on with him, and he took it out on the one person that was his friend, the smallest person that was his friend compared to Will Smith. Chris Rock is a small man. And I understood all of those angles that he was trying to present to paint a picture that he was being abused by Will Smith. Totally get it, totally agree. But the question is that I'm going to ask y'all is this. If the person is smaller than the person that's doing the attacking, does that give the person that's smaller the right to be just as mean, just as dirty verbally toward the person that violently slapped him? Does that make it right that he was smaller than Will Smith, what he did? See, what struck me about the whole thing, like I say, I'm going to be quick with this episode because I want you to listen to this and think about what I'm saying, and if you have to, listen to it again, so I don't want to make this too long. But I want you to think about this. Here we are with two of the most, in my lifetime anyway, that I can see, two of the most successful black actors in America today. Today. They have made movies, music, done comedy specials. Under any definition, these two men have been successes in this country. Two men that we can all be, no matter what your race is, be proud of them. But especially black men. We can look to them as examples of what we should want to look and be like. Role models that we should be able to look at and say, yeah. Did Will Smith mess up? Absolutely. He's human. He's human. But I'm going to tell you, I think Chris Rock did too. I think he missed it too. He missed it, y'all, as far as I'm concerned. He had an opportunity in front of the world to show grace, forgiveness, and understanding. He had the opportunity that most people won't ever get, and that is an audience, a captive audience that would be hanging on every single word that he said. And he could have set the example for thousands and thousands and thousands of young black men out there. Let me just put it like this. Young men, period, out there. He could have set an example that could have transformed this country. What baffles me about this, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to beat him up. I'm just trying to point something out. How is it that we can expect gang members, whether they are gang members black and brown or gang members that are white supremacists, How is it that we should expect people like that to forgive their enemies, the opposition, the other side? Why is it that we should expect those individuals, this group of people that I'm talking about, to take that moral high ground, to be the bigger person, when here we are with two of the most successful black men in America as far as in the entertainment industry, with access to therapy, the means to get it, all of these things. How is it that these people are not showing us, giving us the example of what we should do? Instead, don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at Chris. I'm not blaming Chris. What I'm saying is he missed an opportunity to teach us something. He missed an opportunity to show us that you can be harmed by another person, but you can forgive them. But you can forgive them and move on. My thing is, what lesson did the people that are going to watch that Netflix special, what lesson are they going to learn? What lesson are they going to learn? They're going to learn a lesson that it's okay to lash out. That it's okay to do that after you've been hurt. I'm not saying that Will Smith was right, y'all. I'm just saying somebody in that interaction, in that exchange, has to take the high road. And I know it might sound unfair that the victim is the one that should take the high road. But I'm going to submit to you that both of them are victims. Chris Rock more so than the other. But when you have this distorted view of the world based on the trauma that you've been through, like Will Smith, then that made sense to him in that moment. I'm not forgetting that. What I'm saying is I'm willing to forgive that. I'm willing to forgive that because I understand what brought him to that state of mind. And to me, y'all, wasn't nothing funny about that. $40 million or $400 million is not worth not setting the right example. And I know a lot of people probably saying, shoot, I'll take that $40 million, I'll take 4. But what I'm saying is that what price would you take to not do the right thing? I know a lot of y'all gonna disagree with me, but I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Because I think that Chris Rock missed a golden opportunity to set an example for the 2.2 million people that are incarcerated in the United States. Yes. Does he have that burden to bear? Yeah. He's a role model. He should always be thinking about that. Yeah. Him and Will Smith. Yeah, they should always be thinking about that. And I know that's a lot of pressure. But at the end of the day, it's part of it. It's part of it. They are in a position where the responsibility of being and doing the right thing is heavy. But they asked for that. And I think that both of them are capable. They've shown it. But they both slipped up. And when we slip up, we have to be strong enough and courageous enough to say, brother, I forgive you for that. And let's move on together. Let's get help together. Because I want you to be better. I want you to be healthy. I want you to be the best version of yourself. And I don't think any amount of money is worth not doing that. But we seem to get off on, tearing each other down, tearing each other apart. But we expect the people in the penitentiary, we expect the gang members that live that life We expect them to say, no, somebody's got to be the bigger person. A lot of people in here, they were watching the same thing I was watching when Chris Rock was doing his little bit. Well, they showed us on the news. They were laughing and joking and saying, yeah, that's what's up. And then I said, but hey, hold up. Wait a minute. Do you want somebody to forgive you for what you've done to be in here? And they all looked at me like, Joe, yeah. Then I said, why wouldn't you want him to do the same thing for Will? And they were like, that's just entertainment. I said, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not entertainment. These are life lessons. That's what this is. These are life lessons. These are life lessons, man. If we're not watching movies, comedy shows, things like that, that are teaching us life lessons, how to be a better neighbor, how to be a better citizen, then why are we watching? What does that say about us as a people? What does that say? I'm trying to understand that. Is the only way we can get a laugh is to tear somebody else down? Is that what makes it funny? How is it that these intelligent people, these amazing writers, can't write material that builds people up and make them laugh at the same time? How is that? It always has to be about shaming somebody or embarrassing somebody or humiliating somebody. I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's just me. That's just me. And I want to hear from y'all. I say Chris Rock missed the golden opportunity. What do you say? Hit me up, y'all, in my comment section on YouTube. Let me know what you think, right? And share this on your social media with your friends. Let me know what you think. I'm waiting to hear from y'all. I'm waiting to hear from you. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I'll say peace, y'all.